All right, so we all know that your building is terrible, and today we're going to try and fix that. So I'm going to show you how to get to this, and we're going to hope that we can get you to that building level today. But first, we're just going to start with this box, and we're just going to go with, like, I think it's like 5 steps, and it'll transform this. All right, so the first things that you want to do are the basic ones. So, door, and you want to have the door have its own separate entrance way. So, you go like that. And then you want windows. Windows are your friend. Let a natural light, and they look really nice. You don't have to do as many as this, but it will make your base look good for our next few steps. We do the other side. You, I'd recommend not doing the back because it's just gonna look weird, especially if you consider it the back yourself. So just having a plain back is good. And for what isn't already lit, just put some torches. Or if you want to get fancy, you can use these guys. So far looking kind of empty and kind of bland. Out here. But, so our next step. All right, so the third step includes just some extra wood. So you want logs specifically, so you can add something that goes up here and put it at all 4 corners. So that it looks symmetrical and it looks like you know what you're doing when you're building. Then you want to come up here and add logs across the top. Just adds that little bit of texture, make sure they're all facing similarly this direction. And then go out this way. Uh-oh. And you do all the way across. So now it's looking pretty good-ish. So you want to add some detail. So just add 1 or 2, doesn't really matter, to each of these places right here. And you can actually probably put it right there. That looks pretty good. Add 1 there, 1 here, and 2 here. That just gives it some little bit of difference. Then you want some slabs going across some of your windows. Add that extra bit of um kind of flavor. And if you want, you can even make it look even nicer. You can do that and use your end stone or steps to connect it to the rest of the house. Something like this. So now that looks pretty good, but usually I don't like those here. So I'm just gonna take them out, but that's just something that you can do, play around with those kind of textures and stuff. Then you want to make sure that you have some corner pieces, something like that, to help support this top bit. Something like that. And if you have a case somewhat like that, you go into yours, go back here, and get something that will flow a little bit better. Which the end looks something like this. So step 4 is the outside. So the you may notice that it inside it is pretty decently bright, but outside is pretty dark. Now most people would not care, but you need to remember that the biggest part of a build is making those little things. So what we're going to do is we can make something like this on either side of secondary door. Here we go. And right about here. And that was 4 of them. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4. And there we go. All right. So that might not look so nice, right? So what we do to cover that up is we use our lovely leaves as a cover of those. And you can, of course, put them like this to make it look even better. And maybe while you're at it, add a stone slab for even better access up. And the best way to do that is just kind of fit and go out. Now, right now we're trying to make a rustic kind of cabin. I know it's not looking that very rustic, but that's the end goal here. And we want to make sure that we are able to have some variety. So we add in some variation. So this guy, this guy. Nope, actually, let's go here. And we add in our variation. So it looks a little more rustic. Yes! And you add in some more, since this is like that, we have to add you as like that. So it is similarly cracked and differently done like that. And so that we follow it all the way up, we have to give it a cracked and mossy area up here. So we're going to put cracked right here, mossy right here, and normal right here and here. So now it looks pretty worn. When you come in, it looks perfectly like a rustic cabin. So now we want to do somewhat similar stuff on the other side, but adding lanterns here on both sides of that give a little bit of an impression, but that is not everything that we want here. But we also want our fence to have some leaves and some other variety. Something like that. When we have nothing here, just add it at both ends to make sure that it looks nice. Something along the lines of that. And the one thing that you need is make sure that you have the primary colors kind of. So for that, it is, or in Minecraft, those primary colors are those primary colors are these three. So right here, here, and here. Those are your three colors. You want some red, you want some blue, and you want some green. So we have our green. Now, this, I know, it is not red, but it is similar to red, and we have that in the front as well as the lantern. So we can get rid of the red. And finally, we have our blue, which there aren't that many things to do with, except for wool, panes, banners, and a few other blocks of our nature. But what we can do with it is all the way up here, right around here. And you can also use these guys. So our blue comes to right here. Kind of make a sort of, I guess what you could call it, I guess, would be an infestation of, and that only brings the blue, but also brings the green. So you just want to add just a little bit of these to the places that they are needed. And the best way is to add that little bit of blue in the front where that much blue is lacking. Something like that. And of course, we don't want to forget those sides. So it looks kind of like it is somewhat in water. So now we have decorated the outside somewhat. We can get rid of our blue. And also we don't want to forget that for our ones that don't have anything, add a little bit of crystal, add a little bit of pizzazz. Center focal point. You want it on the ones that do not have anything on them, like that. That one's fine, and so it looks like you actually put some work into it. Now, some azaleas can be used along the sides as kind of hedges, just along here. And just kind of put azaleas where there isn't anything else to fill kind of that void. So just like that. And since this one would look weird without it, we have to put you and you here on the two sides, which is a bad idea. So what we're going to do is we're going to shift, we're going to shift that over. We're going to shift you in. So this is bye-bye. And that goes there. This goes here. This goes here. That gets removed. This goes here. And these go here. And just so that it looks better, we're just going to put this right here and add one more here. So that we do something similar to this that we weren't able to do on the other side. But so once you've done that, your outside is basically done. Except if you want to add a few of these here. Nope, that looks awful. But you want to do something similar to that. Instead, to add some bit of flavor, kind of like that. Then be my guest. Just remember, this looks very boring. So add some flavor by going boop boop. Oh goodness gracious. Boop boop boop. Something like that. And then of course you need to add it going all the way up to the ceiling. And by that you need to have it go symmetrically. So it looks pretty good. Then that step is done. So step 5 is one of the most important ones. So like I said before, I am going to be making a very kind of traditional, I guess, house. When you're making a very kind of wilderness house like this, and you want to make like a thatched roof, use bamboo because it looks like it could be thatched, or be somewhat similar to a thatched roof. Then kind of have something like that. Have something like this. And make sure it kind of comes up like this, comes out. So then you want something like that. So you want to have something like that, then like that, then like that, then like that. So it has that kind of angled roof, or you could even make it even better by adding something like this, this, then boom, boom. Wait, I messed that up. Okay, so 3, then 3. So remember, it's 3 up, and then 3 up. And then you just have very, very, very nice little bit like that. Oh, goodness gracious. Then you have something like that. comes across like that. Boop, 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 boop. And you just add in your bamboo right here, right here, right here, and all the way down here. So it has that kind of angled look, but it is still covering most of that area. So it has that kind of, oh, this very, very unique to look to it. So now we just need to copy that on all the area. All right, so that's 3, 1, 2, 1. All right, right. Then 1, 2. And you want something similar to that, that. And if you don't want to spend all your time and resources building something like that, you just cover that in like this and make sure you put enough torches inside so that no mobs will spawn in here like this. Yep, just a few more. And yeah, I don't know if that's enough though. We'll see. But once we seal that up, we can move up 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and just continue in somewhat of that fashion, which is pretty easy. Just go all the way across. And we just want something like this that goes all the way across. And since it goes all the way across, you can make it do this and just do something along the lines of this. And maybe even get a little bit fancy by showing off your building skills by doing something like that. Now we have a full solid area right here. Now it just goes up to here. And this in itself is relatively simple by just having to fill in all the places. And then once you're done, just add in the finishing touch, just the stairs. And of course, if you need to add in the area down there. So what I mean by that is take a bamboo slab, and I'll show you what to do with it, but take a bamboo slab and basically apply it all the way across the bottom here. Oh dear. And since these cover up the middle of the box that we made at first, we can just do this all the way across, and we look for our bamboo slabs right here. We find them, put them right along here. Them all the way across. And just like that, you have your little thatched roof. And of course, if you need more of the more variety, just here and there, add some of these, something like this. Don't add too many, because otherwise then it will look very, very funny. Oh dear. So just add these every so often, and they will look pretty nice. And it gives it some more depth, some more of that little pizzazz that we need. Now for the last step. All right, so for the final final step, it's going to be a very, very fun one. So, of course, you need to make sure that the one thing in the very, very center of your house is, of course, your bed. So make sure you take extra care to make it look as nice as possible. When you make it, make sure that it doesn't look awful. Don't make stairs that just give you a staircase up, okay? So give them some variety, and even if you need to add some picture or even possibly, I wouldn't really care, but add in another stair so it has a little alcove. But when you do that, make sure it doesn't look pathetic. So maybe add in a different color wood for that very, very top special area, right? So similar to this. As we can all see, that looks really, really similar, and it looks really bland. So just with a very short changes the entire aesthetic, and if you need, change that. Gives you that extra little bit of pizzazz, and it changes the entire look of the entire area. Another little thing. Wait, right there. That. Don't do that. It just looks bad. Okay. Even though it functions, do not do it, please. It looks way too cramped. If you need to, like, move it up a little and then add like a support or something if you're if you want that, similar to this. Or you could even push it into the wall, so something like that. But no, don't do that. I would not recommend it, to be very, very honest with you. The best thing you could probably do would be this. That's the best looking from my experience, and you can always modify it. Right? So if we're done with the bed, we can bring in some of these. So you want symmetry. So make sure that you have it. Yep, perfect. Now for our enchanting table, which takes up quite a bit of room. We can put it right here. So we just put our bookshelves right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And that's our little 15 shelf book. And this would be completely powered. We have our grindstone, which I'd actually prefer to go up there. And one thing that I have learned is whenever you have an anvil, you can just have a stack of these. So when you break it, all of them just come down one. Composter, don't really need it. For the crafting table, gets a nice little corner. And sure, maybe right there. No. But, I mean, hey, you can do that. A better idea would be, though, to put it here. So you can access it while you're sleeping. I mean, will ruin some of the aesthetics, but you can still access it while you're looking at your stuff. You want also proximity to your furnaces, and make sure it doesn't impede the view. So 4 on one side, and maybe 3 on the other. Just make it nice and symmetrical. Just have 3 on both sides. Now, finally, a smithing table right next to this guy. All right, and now your house has gone from being an abysmal little box to being a pretty nice house on the ocean. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial on how to improve your base, and I will make a follow-up video showing how to make different bases so you can have a basement that's directly beneath us, like this, like right over here. But for now, this is what I will be uploading. So yeah, thank you for watching, and subscribe. Do it.